Hey familia, I'm Chef Marco Navarro, and this is Cooking with Papi, where every dish tells a story, Latino style. So today joining me in the kitchen, we have Lamar from Philly. He's the owner of ChiPhi Food Truck, so he runs that along with his wife Aubrey from Chicago. So Lamar, what are we making today?
We're making authentic Chicago-style hot dogs and original Philly cheesesteaks.
Nice. So while Lamar teaches us how to make those two dishes, which I love both, I'm gonna put like a Latin twist on both of them. We're gonna start with the Chicago dog. I'm gonna do a Denver dog, but tell us about the Chicago dog.
So Chicago dog is just made up of beef, bun, and a lot of veggies. And so basically the Chicago dog came from, the Great Depression. So they needed to have a healthy meal. So just having a hot dog with all the veggies on it kind of got you full, So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with the Chicago dog. So every Chicago dog has to have a poppy seed bun. If it don't have a poppy seed bun, it's not a Chicago dog.
Okay.
And then generally when you make the dog, we normally steam our hot dogs as well as with the bun. So the bun gets steamed as well.
All right.
So
Cool.
let's get started.
Sounds good. So while you start that, I'm actually gonna grill this dog. I'm just gonna get it started.
All right, so now we got that dog fresh out of the pot. We're gonna put some bright green relish on it. Not no regular relish, no dill relish. It's bright green relish.
So what gives it that color?
That I don't know. It's a secret.
Okay. I've always wondered that.
But it's a sweet green relish, so it has a lot of a really sweet taste to it. You always want to add some onions to it as well. Keep all the veggies fresh.
So it's just a raw white onion?
Raw white onion. And then you got to add that yellow mustard to it. So add the yellow mustard to it. Get some tomatoes. Lights out. Fresh tomatoes. All right. And then we're going to add a pickle spear. Add a pickle spear on there. And then some sport peppers. These sport peppers are not too spicy, but they got a little kick to it. And they're delicious. And then to top it off, the star of the show, some celery salt. So you got to add some celery salt on there. And there you go.
Yeah, it looks
pretty easy. But there you go, your Chicago dog.
That looks great. So is there a certain order you want to assemble this?
Yeah, so just like I did. Okay. So generally some people put mustard on first. I like to add the relish and the onions and then add the mustard on top. Mm-hmm. And then you want to put your spear on the side, your tomato on the side, your sport peppers on top. Because it's a lot that you're putting on this hot dog. Yeah. So you want to make sure that the bun be able to hold it, and you want to put it in the right position so that way when you grab that dog, you take a bite, everything's not falling all out. So
looks great, man.
Thank you.
Can't wait to taste that.
There you go.
Chicago is like one of my favorite cities.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else about the Chicago dog that makes it unique?
Not really. I think it's just really just the fact that the dog is unique, that it has all those veggies on there and all those flavors put together. And I've tried it without the tomatoes. I've tried it without the celery salt. If you don't have all those flavors on there, it's not going to taste good. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I remember the first time I tried one, yeah. I expected not to like it.
Right.
I was younger and I was like, I don't really like all these ingredients that are on here, but I'll try it how it's supposed to be. And I was like, damn, this is fire. It's perfect.
And it's crazy because, my first time trying it, I went to Chicago. Me and my wife, she took me to Chicago, my first time in Chicago. And she was like, you got to try the Chicago-style hot dog. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, I'm not a big fan of tomatoes on my hot dog. I'm not a big fan of a lot of stuff. I'm normally just an onions and mustard dude. So I said, you know what, I'll try it. And when my first bite, I was hooked. So.
Yeah, and I don't think people are really using celery salt like that.
Right. And that's really the star of the show, because if you don't add the celery salt on there, it gives it a flavor, a really bold flavor that a lot of people don't really know what that taste is. Like, what is that taste? But it adds to that dog and makes it delicious.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does it matter what kind of tomatoes people use?
Not necessarily, but we use Roma tomatoes.
Cool.
Just make sure the tomato is nice and fresh and crisp, not soft and soggy, because then you're gonna have those juices from that tomato going to the bun, and it's gonna fall apart.
And then tell us about the dog that we're using.
Yes, we're using a Vienna all beef hot dog. That is the original dog from Chicago. The Vienna, even the buns that we have are from Vienna. So we try to keep everything original, fresh from Chicago, and that's the go-to. So if you hear anybody from Chicago say they want a Chicago-style hot dog, the first thing they're gonna say is that hot dog Vienna all beef? If it ain't, then it ain't a Chicago dog.
That makes sense, man, because there's a Chicago dog spot in downtown Denver, which is my hometown. And I remember seeing like the Vienna sausage logo on the outside.
Yes.
And even like every time I saw a Chicago food truck or something, it always had like that Vienna advertised.
They are like
so that's like the certification.
Right. That's a must. So Vienna kind of runs the city.
Nice. So I can't wait to try that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce another dish, which is also a hot dog. It's Denver dog. So we're just gonna use the same bun.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
And then I did spiralize the hot dog. All I did was just take a knife and run it about 1/8 of an inch deep, and just hit these slits on here. That just gives extra surface area. So once we hit it on this grill, those little pockets of exposed meat is gonna just give it like extra caramelization, a little extra flavor, texture. So
smell good too. You can smell it.
And then we're gonna top that with. So Denver has like a heavy Latino population. I don't think people realize that, but one thing that's very popular in Denver is, well, in Colorado in general, is green chili.
Okay.
So we're definitely gonna top it with some of that. We're gonna hit it with some raw red onions, a little bit of crema, and then some fresh jalapeños.
Nice.
So it's gonna have a kick, but the crema will definitely balance it out.
Nice.
So let's see. I guess we're ready to plate this one. I think this dog is ready.
It look ready. Sizzling.
And then hit it with some of this chili.
And this right here is the green chili you're talking about?
Yeah, so the green chili, this is like a regional thing from like southern Colorado / New Mexico.
Okay.
So the chilies that grow there, they're like very meaty. They have a really good texture. See, it's kind of thick in there. So we'll hit it with that first. So these are local chilies to New Mexico and southern Colorado.
Yeah, is there anything else? Is it just the chilies that you put in there? Or
This right here?
Sauce, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just roasted and peeled and then chopped up.
Nice.
And then we'll hit it with some the crema. Actually, we'll do the crema last. So I'll hit it with some of these red onions.
Man, that look good already.
Yeah, these are, we'll hit the jalapenos last, actually. The crema will go down the middle. This will balance out some of that heat, man. We got 2 types of peppers on here. How's your spice tolerance?
Man, I'm a wimp when it comes to spice. I'll tell you that now.
Oh, man. All right, and then just for a little garnish, I'll put some green onions on top.
Oh, yeah, that looks fire.
Again, for color, just a little bit extra, those red onions.
It's a very colorful plate right now. I got a lot of colors.
There we go, man. So we got Chicago dog and Denver dog.
Yeah, there you go. You might have to add this to the menu.
All right, familia. So here we have it. This is our Chicago dog, and then we got the Denver dog. So Lamar, go ahead and try out. What do you want to do first?
I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Denver dog.
All right, go
I
for
had
it.
1,000.
Try the Denver dog.
Let's go see what they talking about.
So again, that has the green chili,
Mm-hmm.
the raw red onions, the fresh jalapeno, and then the Mexican crema. It's hot.
Bro, this is good.
I'm gonna try.
Man, y'all gotta try this.
I'm gonna try the Chicago dog.
Y'all gotta try it. Jesus. Wow.
All right, let's see.
But that crema does, it definitely lays down like that spicy.
Mm.
It's not too spicy.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
Chicago dog. Can't go wrong.
Jesus.
All right, man. Salud.
Salute.
Okay, familia. I'm Chef Marco Navarro, and this is Cooking with Papi, where every dish tells a story, Latino style. All right, Philly.
Now it's the spicy.
Hey, familia. Welcome back. So we're here in the kitchen with Lamar from Philly. How'd you like the Denver dog?
Man, my mouth was still burning, but it was delicious. It was good, man.
The
It was
jalapenos
good.
got some heat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That green
need some
chili
more of
too.
that. Yeah.
Okay. I'll put extra crema on next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Chicago dog was amazing, man. That the celery salt, you're right. That's what sets it off.
Right.
But I love the freshness of all the veggies.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're gonna do the Philly cheesesteak. What kind of steak do we use?
Sirloin, fresh sirloin steak, but we have this kind of laid out already separated steak, which is mixed up
Yeah.
sirloin steak, and it's delicious.
I'm surprised you said sirloin because I could definitely see like the marbling in there. There's
Mhm.
good fat content on there.
Mm-hmm.
So do we need to add oil to the?
Not really, no, because all of that fat and it's going to render down. It's going to give you that grease that you need.
Okay.
You don't want it to be too juicy because it's going to break through the bread. And it's going to
Yeah.
make the bread soggy. So you go ahead and just throw your meat on the grill, and then let that meat and fat produce its own grease.
Cool. Yeah. So we cooking it in straight tallow, straight beef fat. That's what probably makes it taste so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see we have some onions.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of cheese are we using?
Provolone.
No whiz.
No whiz. I mean, we could do whiz, but no whiz. I like to keep it original with provolone cheese and onions and steak.
Honestly, I love it both ways.
Yeah.
Like the whiz is good too.
Whiz is alright. I'm not a big fan. Some people
Is
like
it-
it with whiz, but not me. I like it to keep it with the provolone cheese.
Do you think locals have a stronger preference, or is it just kind of?
I think it depends.
Split.
You got to split. Some people like it with whiz, some people don't.
What about regions of Philly? Is it?
Oh man, how much time you got? So like South Philly they have the staples of Pat's and Geno's in South Philly. So a lot of people like to go and get the whiz. You can go to Jim Steaks on South Street and they get the whiz there as well. And then you can go down like North Philly and sometimes they do American cheese or they do provolone cheese.
American.
On cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had it with American.
Yeah, it's cool. It gives it's more of like a I want to say cheap flavor to it. But you can go like trust me, like we call them Papi stores, aka bodegas. You can go to the Papi store, you can get a cheesesteak, and normally it comes with American cheese on it.
Okay.
So you get a nice little cheesesteak for
Cool.
good $2-3.
Well, the provolone makes sense to me because Philly has like a huge Italian population, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's generally like the South Philly area, but all over really, to be honest with you.
Cool.
But the steak is important. I think it's if you try to add anything else to it, it's like fighting words to Philadelphians. So
Like good steak, that's all it needs: salt and pepper, right?
just salt and pepper.
Okay.
Anything else you add to it, because if you got a good steak, you don't need to add any other seasonings to it. You just need salt and pepper, flavor that steak up a little bit, and then onions and all those flavors come together.
All right. So this is a real authentic Philly. So while Lamar's teaching us how to make that, I'm gonna put a little Latin twist on it. So it's not a real Philly, but I'm gonna put some of those Pueblo green chilies on there. You mentioned the different cheeses.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use some jalapeno pepper jack,
Okay.
a little spice, and then I see you got the white onion. I love red onion,
Okay.
so I'm gonna put a little bit of red onion on.
Yeah, the
on
white
mine.
onion is where to go.
Yeah,
White onion's where to
but this is okay.
like,
Mine's not Philly. The Philly is over here. See how Philly people are?
No,
All right.
but yeah, I can't wait to taste it. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
So you start with the
You're
steaks.
gonna throw the steak on there. There you go.
What kind of heat level?
Not too hot.
Okay.
You don't want to sear the steak.
Okay.
You want it to be juicy. You want it to, you want
It's cut thin.
yeah, cut thin.
Okay.
It cooks fast. Yeah, that's the one thing about the cheesesteak. It cooks really fast. So I'm not gonna chop on this here, but you want to chop it up. A lot of people, if you go to like Gems and Pat's, the steak is not really chopped.
Yeah.
So most people like their steak chopped up. Gems chop their steak pretty good. But my favorite spots to go to is like Max's Cheesesteak, which is in North Philly, where I'm from.
Cool.
You'll go there, you'll see Kevin Hart's face on the side of this cheesesteak spot. And right next door is called the Eagles Bar, so you can get a cheesesteak and walk right through.
Yeah.
And get yourself a nice drink.
I've been hearing about Bradley Cooper.
Uh-huh.
He opened up his cheesesteak spot. He's from Philly too, right?
He's from Philly. He's Bradley Cooper is like from like the Abington area. It was like kind of suburbs of Philly.
Uh-huh.
But if anybody say they're from Philly, they could be from the suburbs, but they're gonna say Philly.
Yeah.
So
all this is going in one cheesesteak?
one in cheesesteak. Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Okay.
most places they don't really. You go to a cheesesteak spot, they're not gonna portion out their meat. It's gonna be a pile of meat on the grill.
Uh-huh.
And they're gonna slide it over, chop it, put that cheese on it, let it melt, and there you
they're
go.
cooking high volume.
They cook them in high volume, yeah.
Okay.
So
The smell of the meat with the onions when you walk into a cheesesteak, that's like the best.
that's it, and there's something about that, like
I already know once you add the onions, it's gonna be smelling amazing.
I wait till it's like halfway cooked, and then I season it, a little salt,
Cool.
a little pepper. A lot of places they like to add on, and I like to add a little bit more pepper. It gives it that.
I love pepper, man.
Yeah, I love
you
pepper
go heavy
too.
on pepper. That's what I do.
So you let that cook, and like as you see, like the steak is cooking slowly.
Yeah.
And it's not cooking, really fast, because then you'll have that crispy steak, and you want those juices to that fat to render, and you want it to cook. I don't want to hit it too hard.
I could see the fat level is definitely enough to cook all that steak.
Yeah, so you don't need no grease. Don't add no grease to it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because then you'll have a soggy cheesesteak.
And then what about the bread? What's gonna hold up to that?
Now, this, as I say, is the star of the show, is the bread. If you don't have the right roll, no matter how you cook your meat, no matter how you put your onions on there, the cheese, whatever, it's not going to taste the same. Okay. So this roll that we have is made in Philly. All the Phillies know it's the right roll, which is
The Philly special.
It's a Philly special. That's what we're gonna call it, the Philly special. You can't give too much away. But yeah, it's a good roll, made in Philly, fresh every single time, and it holds the meat really well, holds the juices really well. So when you bite into it, you don't have a soggy roll. It has a nice crisp on the outside, and the bread is so soft on the inside.
So let's say, like, for people at home that don't have access to that, or they're just not in Philly.
Yeah.
If they wanted to make this at home and find like the closest alternative to this bread, what would you recommend they look for something like that?
You want to look for something that says hoagie roll.
Hoagie roll.
Hoagie roll,
okay.
Not Italian roll, not a French roll. Okay. Hoagie roll. Generally, when they make that roll, the way they bake it, most of these rolls, they're not made into a cast. Mm-hmm. They just bake their rolls. So that's why they come out different sizes. They look different, things like that. Mm-hmm. So you want to get something that says hoagie roll on it.
Okay. And then what point do we add the onions?
So right now, see how we still got a little pink on there?
Yeah.
All right. So now that's where I want to add the onions, where it's kind of like halfway.
Okay.
So then I add the onions on, and I just mix them in.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they're gonna steam at the same time that they're hitting the grill.
So they're gonna sweat. We're gonna mix them in with the cheesesteak, and I like to let my onions sweat. I don't like them. You don't really taste that. You want to get a nice little crunch. That's the whole purpose of adding onions.
Yeah. So you add them towards the end, so they still have a bite.
Right. Right.
Some people like it more grilled and caramelized. Okay. I think this is gonna give us that nice texture.
Right. So then, while you let that cook, it still got a little pink in it, right? And you can smell it. That if it smells like that, when you smell that onions and that pepper, and we're gonna make it cheesy. So now some places are different, right? Some places, they add their cheese on and then they kind of chop the cheese into it.
Yeah.
Most places they put their cheese on top and they just go ahead and let that cheese just melt into that cheesesteak.
Nice.
And then you put your bread on top.
Okay.
Yeah. That looks good. So now I'm gonna scoop it up. Put that on there. And then flip it. And you still get that cheese all the way through that meat. Like that there.
Dang, that looks so good.
And that's a Philly cheesesteak.
Real deal.
Real deal. You see the onions, they sweated a little bit. Got a little bit of caramelization, but still fresh.
Oh, that looks good, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to try that. So now we have a classic Philly, a real deal Philly. I'm gonna destroy it. All right.
Do your thing.
So
Do your thing.
I'm gonna let you chop up the meat and stuff. I'll just add the toppings at the end.
Right, let me get this all off.
Cool.
Yeah. There you go.
Cool.
You want me to chop it up?
Yeah.
All right.
You know what to do.
Philly style.
Yeah. So I almost want to add like some cumin and oregano.
And I'm sure all your flavors, like I said, you got good steak and a good roll.
Yeah.
You can make a really good Philly cheesesteak. And it took me a while, I've learned how to make cheesesteaks working at certain spots such as Max's and, Four Seasons and all that.
Yeah.
But I had to perfect it on my own the way I liked it and the way I see other people like their cheesesteak. Because some places that just cook their cheese, they just make a cheesesteak how they want to make it.
Right.
And not how the people like it. So
cool.
So that's where we came with the ChiPhi. We came to Memphis and, I missed the cheesesteak how I like it. And I know Memphis has their style of putting their own twist on the Philly. So I was like, man, I got to bring out original.
What were you finding that they did different? Were they using different cheese?
No, they use different cheese, tomatoes and lettuce and ranch is like a thing too.
Ranch?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which is cool, so, but I was like, man, I like it the way I like it, and I love it the original Philly style. And I said, I got to bring it to y'all and show how it is. So,
Cool.
But what a lot of people don't know is that the way Memphis makes it or any other place where they put lettuce and tomatoes on it, in Philly, we call it a cheesesteak hoagie.
Cheesesteak hoagie.
Yeah. So it's like, having a sub with all the ingredients on the sub, put on a cheesesteak.
Yeah. Cheesesteak hoagie.
Yeah. It's not too popular, but it's a thing.
They take the Philly off of there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna put a little Latin twist on the Philly cheesesteak. Like Philly's Most Wanted. Remember that song they had, Across the Border?
I'm gonna take you across the border, mama. I'll go across the border. Nope. They see he's taking me
now
back.
Look, Ma, what you heard. Who's your favorite Philly rapper?
Huh?
Who's your favorite Philly rapper?
Man, who's my favorite Philly rapper? I want to say Beans is my favorite Philly rapper. My brother raps, which is Hollow Man. He's a battle rapper. So he's definitely my favorite because he's my brother, But yeah, so definitely Beans is one of my favorite Philly rappers.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so is it time for us to season?
Yeah, it's time for season.
Okay. And then when do I hit the onions?
You can whenever you want to. This is Marco's way right here.
All right.
So
so I am gonna I'll season it first. So the salt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go heavy on the pepper as well.
I love pepper.
I'm gonna hit it with some red onion.
Okay.
And then we got the Pueblo green chili.
Okay.
So it's not a Philly cheesesteak anymore. We could call it a Pueblo cheesesteak.
Pueblo cheesesteak. There we
Shout
go.
out to Pueblo. This is gonna give it like a really good roasted flavor,
Okay.
a little bit of smokiness. These peppers they're charred,
Okay.
so you see just a little bit of black skin on it still,
Yeah.
but most of that's peeled off, so it's got that good roasted flavor.
Nice. I like when they're charred. I like when the peppers are charred.
Yeah,
It definitely brings out a lot of flavor. I like to eat it with my eggs, to be honest with you.
it's fire with eggs.
Yeah, so definitely with some eggs.
This is one of the best ways to eat it with
Mhm.
breakfast because it's really good with potatoes
Yeah.
too. All right, so it's time to flip it, or
Yeah, I mean, this
bro.
you tell me how to make the
All right,
Marco's
all
way,
right,
the
all right.
Pueblo's way. Go ahead and flip it and mix it up if you want to. That look good. There you go.
Chop it up.
Yeah.
Chopper City. Okay, so you see these these red onions, they got a little caramelization. I actually
Yeah.
like a little bit of that, but
I love the red onions too, but not on the cheesesteak.
yeah,
But I like it. I like it, with my potatoes. I definitely eat it on some potatoes, some steak, like a ribeye.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So this is about ready for cheese, right?
It's just about ready for cheese there, because you
Yeah.
still gotta let that
One
cheese
more
melt
flip.
into it. So
Okay.
yeah.
So I'm gonna get it lined up how you did.
There you go. That look good.
And then we'll add this jalapeno pepper jack.
I gotta get a picture of this. I'm sending this back home. I'm like, look what he done did to this cheesesteak, y'all.
Don't have them call ice on me, bro.
Nah, I got you.
All
I ain't
right.
gonna tell them the greens. They probably gonna try to steal it.
Nice.
So what makes so what? So you said like the Latin flavors come from what part of Denver?
So the green chili
The green chili.
is local to Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's from southern Colorado.
Gotcha.
Pueblo is where the chili's from, so it's
Okay.
called the Pueblo chili, actually.
Gotcha.
The
Okay.
chili's named after the city.
Nice.
It's actually my parents' hometown, so it's about 2 hours south of Denver.
Okay.
And I was born there too, but we moved to Denver when I was like 5, so I
So
really didn't grow up there, but that's where my roots were from.
okay. Okay. So you go out there and they fresh farms that grow those
Yeah, so
peppers
and then Pueblo too, it has a big Latino population, but it also has a really big Italian population.
okay.
So like they'll put green chili on stuff like a Italian grinder.
Really?
It's fire. Or
Man.
you get some really good pizza spots out
Yeah.
there. They'll put some of that chili on there. Like
That's a lot of flavors going on.
yeah, like some sausage and green chili.
Yeah.
It's a good pizza. So
So then Philly, this is what we call, this is a creative joint right here. This joint real creative.
we'll call it the Papi John.
The Papi joint. There you go. So,
Is this ready yet, or give it a
yes,
little bit?
look ready. Yeah, that cheese
Okay.
is melted and
So let's see. I'm gonna move this
Mhm.
because I don't have the flip experience like you do.
so you can kind of like scoop it. I kind of
like
like
this?
yeah. So what I kind of do is like
Here, go ahead,
you wanna like kind of just like scoop it in there, so that way you get that everything under that roll, so that cheese melt
nice.
into that roll,
Perfect.
and then quickly flip it. You don't want to have it sit on top of there too long, because that roll's gonna get
it
real
looks
soggy.
good, man.
There
It
you
looks
go.
so good. Smells good too.
So you know what you can call this actually? This is
What's
the
up?
Denver John.
Denver John.
This is the John from Denver.
So the Denver Philly
Denver, Philly.
and the real Philly.
There you
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
So there we go, guys. Real deal Philly and the Denver John.
My joint look plain. You don't got a lot of color to it.
All right, familia. So there we have it. We got the real deal Philly. Shout out to Saquon.
Go Birds. We champions, baby.
And then this is the Denver John. That's what we named it. All right. You want to try it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go ahead and rip it off. Don't be scared. Oh, look at that cheese pull right there.
Dang.
My wife needs you to be here. She needs to be here. She's sleeping.
How is it, man? You like it? That green
Oh
chili?
my God.
The green chili smacks.
Cut the camera. Cut the camera. This is good. It's good. I'm not even gonna hold you. I am not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna lie. That's good. These flavors,
Hell yeah.
it gives it a little bit of heat, but it's not too hot. I
Yeah.
like it.
That roasted flavor is good, huh?
Yeah. But this different drum, this is it.
I want to try the classic, man. Simple,
Right.
perfect.
Straight to the point. That's crazy.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
This is so good, man.
How you deal with the spice? How you do it?
So there we have it. The real deal Philly. The best Philly in Memphis, by the way.
Facts. Facts.
No cap.
Yes.
All right.
I gotta say something.
No, you're good.
Give me a second.
He's loving the green chili on there, man. All right, familia. So there we have it. Thank you, Lamar from Philly, owner of ChiPhi Food Truck. We got the Philly, real deal Philly, and the Denver John. I'm Chef Marco Navarro, and this is Cooking with Papi, where every dish tells a story, Latino style.
Whip